Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth presentation of the Perth Vegan Expo Cyclone Narelle Virtual Edition. We have now got Jack Rock, also known as That Vegan Dad. He's coming to us from his kitchen, doing a live cooking demo, tofu 3 ways, cooking with firm, semi-firm, and silken tofu. So a little bit about Jack. Jack Rock, or That Vegan Dad online, is a father, content creator, and long-term vegan who has been raising vegan kids in Australia since 2017. His family's journey began after their youngest son's severe eczema completely resolved when dairy was removed from their diet, a turning point that led to his family to adopt a vegan lifestyle for health, animal welfare, and environmental reasons. Jack is the author of How to Raise Vegan Kids and shares practical, real-world advice through blogs, videos, and social media, helping families navigate nutrition, school, sport, social situations, and raising confident vegan kids without fear or feeling overwhelmed. Known for his honest, down-to-earth approach, Jack focuses on making vegan parenting feel achievable, balanced, and empowering for everyday families. Tofu is one of the most affordable, nutritious, and versatile vegan staples, but it's often misunderstood. In this interactive and live cooking demo, Jack will be showing you how to cook tofu 3 ways using firm, semi-firm, and silken tofu. He'll explore simple techniques, flavour pairings, and practical tips to help some home cooks feel confident using tofu for family-friendly meals. Thanks, Jack. I'll hand it over to you now.
Thank you for that intro. Hello, everyone. I am here to show you tofu 3 different ways. So tofu for me personally, when I first went vegan, was one of those ingredients that I had no idea how to use. It was pretty just basic pan frying, but over time, I've been vegan for about over 8 years now, and it has really turned in one of those ingredients that is super versatile, and you can adapt it in so many different ways. So today I've got 3 different recipes. I've probably made it a little bit ambitious to do 3 recipes in an hour, but we're going to give it a shot. So what we've got first, I've got a silken tofu here. So we're going to just make a super simple, easy silken tofu recipe. It's going to be like a satay, just going to drizzle it on. It's going to be raw silken tofu. Very easy to whip together. It is a great, easy protein snack idea, and very versatile with what you put on top as well. I'm sure some of you are a bit kind of concerned having raw tofu, but the silken tofu is perfect. Silken tofu you can use in smoothies, desserts, but this is going to be a savory dish right here. And then we've also got the semi-firm. So I'm actually going to be making a tofu egg McMuffin. Going to make a vegan hollandaise sauce as well. This one is probably one of our go-to breakfast items that our family enjoy. And honestly, it has kind of that eggy texture. If you're looking for that, has some really great flavors, not strong eggy flavors. So don't be put off by that. It's just one of those kind of recipes that you can replicate those items that you used to have pre-vegan days. And then finally, we've also got firm tofu. So this one is a little bit firmer in texture, but what we're going to be making is a sweet tofu recipe. Again, very easy. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to whip up all these in an hour and hopefully show you some new ideas when cooking with tofu. These are super affordable, high protein, accessible as well. So I've got the macro firm tofu. Aldi have a similar firm tofu, which is really spot on. Under $3 as well. I'm really pumped to get into it, but it's got to be quick, so I've got to stick with this hour. So what we're going to be getting into first is the semi-firm tofu. I'm going to make those tofu eggs. We're just going to marinate that for about 15-20 minutes. So all you get is your classic semi-firm tofu here. It might be a little bit hard to see what I am cutting here. What you want to do, you get your English muffin. You kind of want to cut the tofu patties to a similar size to your English muffins so it fits in there really well. I'll cut it up. So you can probably get maybe 8 to 10 patties out of this one. So this one is just from Macro, from Woolworths. But as you're jumping in, I've got Instagram going, the Facebook is going as well. Just jump in, any questions, and then hopefully we can chat as we're going in this chat. I'll try to keep going, looking at the chat if any questions are coming in. So cut up the tofu. So you're looking at this kind of size for your semi-firm tofu. As you can see here, it's a little bit flimsy, so it's not too bad there. We're just going to pan fry that later. But what I've got a container. I'm going to whack in our marinade items. So we're just going to cut up the tofu. But again, this is like probably one of my go-to Sunday morning breakfasts. You can get some vegan bacon, get this holiday sauce that I'm going to show you as well. It is just the combination is fantastic. Melt some vegan cheese. The kids love this one as well. And it's one of those recipes where, you know, you sometimes feel like you're missing out, but, you know, tofu is highly versatile, and it's one of those recipes where you can kind of make those classic meals that everyone else is talking about, but you can veganize it and still make it incredible. So with this marinade as well, like I'm only going to do it for about 15, 20 minutes, but sometimes what I actually do, I leave the marinade soaking in the tofu for about 24 hours. So the next day, if you're that well prepared like myself, you can marinate overnight, and it gives it a bit of a stronger flavor on these tofu egg patties. But what I love about all three of these recipes, just really super simple ingredients and really easy to whip up. So what I got there, got the tofu going. So that is just in a container. So the next we'll just put on the marinade ingredients. I've spread out a lot here, 3 recipes. But what we've got, so we're just going to have a bowl. We're going to mix it together. So we've just got a bit of olive oil here, maybe 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Got a 1/4 cup of water. A tablespoon of soy sauce. And then we've got black salt. You don't have to include black salt, but black salt gives it kind of like a bit of an eggy sort of flavor. Don't have to put it in. And then we've also got nutritional yeast here as well. So about maybe 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And then we've got some added flavors. I've mixed all these together. We've got onion powder, garlic powder, turmeric, and sweet paprika as well. So just got that in the bowl, mix around. And then we're just going to pour that over the tofu. There you go. So then you just kind of stir that around. We set it aside, just make sure it's all covered. Set it aside for about 15, 20 minutes. Again, this one can go overnight to kind of give it a deeper sort of flavor. So whilst that one is marinating, we're moving into the silken tofu one. This one is just a satay, super simple. You're going to be surprised how delicious this little combo is. It is a fantastic protein snack. So again, we've got the silken tofu, the macro silken tofu, really affordable. I'm just going to dice that up. So this one is a 300-gram packet, probably just 200 grams for this recipe. So what I'll do, put the stove on, got really easy ingredients here. So we've got 1 garlic clove. We've got 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Very easy to whip up. So whack this on. And then cut up our tofu to about 200 grams. So again, if you've got any questions, chuck it in the comments. I've got to try to work it out if there's comments in this meantime. So we've got, trying to read as we go here. I'm actually going to be making a tofu burger for lunch, but now I am waiting for you to use your form of tofu. Well, this highly recommend this as well. I've actually got these recipes on my website. So if you haven't seen my website before, it's thatvegandad.net. Just whack in tofu and all these recipes are online for you to check out. I know it's hard to keep up and cook along, but you can definitely bookmark and look at them later. So I got, thank you for doing the presentation despite the cancellation. Works out better for me as a remote outback teacher. It actually works out better for me, or actually not better for me, but I actually do wonder how I was going to do this on a trestle table at the Expo. I've like extended all the way down here, but it's fantastic to be doing this and have this option. And I'm actually really excited to be invited to, this is an incredible Expo, some really great people there, charities, and like despite it being cancelled, definitely do reach out if you're in Perth, or even if you're not in Perth. Just the charities trying to raise money, jump on the Perth Expo Facebook and Instagram page and kind of look into charities, donating, helping out those businesses, because, you know, unfortunately this was a last minute cancellation. So that is on heat now. So we just got this little saucepan here. Got some garlic. So we're just going to quickly brown that up a little bit. And then we're going to get into adding in our soy sauce and peanut butter. So keep bringing in the questions as you jump in. Fantastic to see people jumping in. I've never cooked with silken tofu before, so this is super cool. As I said, a lot of silken tofu, I actually make like a silken tofu tzatziki. It's super creamy, it's high protein, like it's super versatile. A lot of people actually use it in desserts as well, but today, easy. So we're just gonna whack in our soy sauce. Like I've run out of dishes here. So I'll show you in a minute. But I'm actually using silicone muffin tins for all my ingredients. And it is just everywhere at the moment. So we're just going to stir that around until that kind of gets into a sauce. Just keep stirring. And that's just going to go on top of your silken tofu to make like a super simple satay tofu recipe. Again, as I said, really high protein. But as you're bumping in, if you've got any questions or whatnot, please let me know. So look at how easy that was. It's nice and smooth now. So just got a plate. Whack on our tofu. Whoop. And then we're going to pour on this little satay. Bada boom, bada boom. Look at that. Easy satay. And then also to kind of make it a bit more gourmet. Got some sesame seeds here in another muffin tray. So just sprinkle that over. Boom, boom, boom. Then you can add on some sort of spring onion, maybe a little bit, but you know, it's a little bit hard to see. But look how fantastic that looks. I've got to get a spoon. Look at this. Unfortunately, this is the downside of doing this virtual cooking. You guys don't get to experience this. But I hope you do try out this recipe. Super simple, easy, and it's actually really refreshing as well. So if the weather is a little bit warmer, if you're looking for like a high protein, something refreshing, and look, that was so easy to put together. But look at this delicious satay. So you get that warm satay sauce, and then you get the refreshment from that silken tofu. So that is honestly beautiful. Spot on. All right, so we still got this marinating away. You know, you can kind of stir it around a little bit, probably have a little bit better of a container there. But we'll try to go into some questions quickly. Would almond butter work? I'm allergic to peanuts, unfortunately. Absolutely. It's like if you can get that kind of runny sauce, you might have to add a little bit more water or whatnot, but it'll still work out fine. Is a chili a good match with your satay tofu? And that's what I was going to lead into. This recipe is honestly so versatile. A lot of these recipes are so versatile as well. So you can add in a little bit of chili oil, some chili on top. You could just make chili oil on top by itself. Another one I make is just some soy sauce, onion, garlic, boom. My son, who is 8, loves that combination. He used to take it to school as like a snack. He would have it in a little container, whack the container on, and he would take a spoon and eat it. It was honestly so amazing. He's kind of stepped away from that a little bit now, but that is a recipe that he loves. Your tofu scramble is the best recipe out there. Thank you so much. I was going to actually do that one, but I feel like everyone has their own tofu scramble recipe. If someone wants a little sweetener, I discovered a rice syrup and it's really close to honey. And I saw a video recently. Oh, dandelion honey. I have heard about it. I haven't tried it before. Is the silken tofu cold? Yes, it is cold. So it has that refreshing combination there. Some people jumping in on Instagram now. So welcome. Hello, Instagram. Is the tofu cold? Yes, cold, refreshing combination. I don't know. We're 15 minutes down and like we've prepped so much already. We're kicking it. We're doing so well. So I might make some room here. Lost a muffin. So what we're going to move into next is kind of finish off this tofu egg patties. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to make a vegan hollandaise sauce. Like it's pretty spot on and it comes together so well. Just got to get my spacing right. So I'm only going to cook maybe one patty right now to show you what it looks like, but I might actually keep that overnight and have it for breakfast tomorrow. Just marinate a little bit longer. As I said earlier, as you're just jumping in, these recipes are online on my website. We are here for the Perth Vegan Expo. Unfortunately, I can't be there, but, you know, virtual. And as I said earlier, there's some great businesses out there. So, you know, donate to the charities, help out these businesses that were going to be there if they have online stores or whatnot. So, you know, a lot of great businesses unfortunately had to cancel plans because of Cyclone Narelle. So what we're going to do, we're going to move into our hollandaise sauce. This one is really easy as well. So it is just a case of combining your ingredients into a saucepan, and we're going to be whisking for about 5 to 10 minutes until it gets a little bit thicker. So what we'll do first, we'll put on this fry pan. I just chucked in a little bit of olive oil, and we'll start cooking up one of these tofu egg patties. But as you're jumping in, please jump in with any questions that you may have. Happy to answer as we are going. But once that gets the heat, we're going to chuck in one of these. So it's had about 15, 20 minutes. So it's got a little bit of the sauce marinade over the top of it. So it's kind of seeped in a little bit. And what was actually really exciting about this one So my whole family is vegan. The kids are vegan. They go to primary school at the moment. And I actually got asked, the school actually asked me, because there's actually a couple of vegans at the school. They actually asked me if I was willing to cook for the Mother's Day breakfast last year. And I whipped up this because the regular item was like a muffin, like an egg muffin with bacon. But what I did, I got some vegan bacon. I marinated these. I went into the school canteen, cooked it up, and it was a great experience just to be asked to help out, because there are vegan kids in the school, which we're very lucky to have that. But actually opening up that conversation to the school and like coming to me to help out. There was a lot of kids and other parents that didn't miss out on the Mother's Day breakfast because I was willing to help out, which was fantastic. So that was a great experience. And, some little advice, I guess, from my experience as a vegan dad is just having those conversations, having those open conversations with the school. And you may be surprised at actually what comes out of it. So what we've got here, fry pan's on. We're cooking a little lonesome tofu patty here. But we're going to brown that up. We're going to flip it around a few times. And actually, what is great about this one, after a while, it kind of gets like a nice crispy layer around it. So it has a little bit of crunch, but then inside it has like that soft, semi-firm tofu texture in there as well. So then we're also going to whack on our saucepan. And I am going to try to talk about these ingredients as they're going in. So you don't have to turn this on just yet. We'll just whack them all into the saucepan. So what we've got half a cup of soy milk here. Got a tablespoon of lemon juice. 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. You got your turmeric here, about half a teaspoon of turmeric. And then about a 1/4 cup of melted vegan butter. Narelle is fine. And then half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And then finally, we've got some corn flour here. So this helps thicken up your sauce really quickly. A couple tablespoons of corn flour there. So we're going to turn that on, and then we're just going to keep whisking until that starts to thicken up. But if you've got any questions, please let me know. I'll try to catch up on any questions coming from Instagram or the Facebook Live. So there are, I don't even know where I was up to. Where do you get your recipe ideas? Like with the tofu egg one, it's kind of just replicating recipes that I used to love as a non-vegan. And I guess what I'm trying to help people with is that being vegan, you don't have to miss out. Like you can adapt different recipes to kind of recreate those things that you used to love. And I think a lot of vegans, long-time vegans, they'll come to realize there isn't any missing out. There's some fantastic businesses, some fantastic options available these days, like donuts, sweets, cakes, so much. There is an abundance of vegan options. And I really hate it when people say, what do you eat as a vegan? I make tofu egg muffins. It is unreal. And you kind of learn to experiment with new recipes. Like pre-vegan days, I could not imagine eating tofu, but now I have tofu pretty much every single day. So I'll try to show this in a minute. It might not come out that well, but it's starting to get a little bit of a brown crust around the tofu patty, which is fantastic. I'm definitely going to try the Silken Tofu satay recipe. I cook with tofu a lot, but this is a new take. Thank you. How can we best support you? Haven't jumped on your website yet, but do you sell products, etc., etc.? I do have a couple ebooks, tofu ebooks, giving you a breakdown of some really family-friendly tofu recipes. The kids honestly love all these recipes. So you can jump on the website. There are products on there. Otherwise, just follow me on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm on YouTube as well. And I try to have on YouTube, I try to do like grocery hauls, accidentally vegan hauls as well, and just showing people, you know, it is accessible out there for vegans. So this one has thickened up incredibly quickly. So we'll try to kind of like, it's a little bit hard to show. I'll get a spoon. But look at this. Look at that texture. Look at that. It's thick and beautiful. So that how easy was that? A handful of ingredients. And this is what I love about my recipes. Simple, approachable, accessible. You don't have to be an expert. Like I get scared, you know, with certain recipes that have like a long ingredient list. You got to like do this, backflip this. These are all accessible. You don't have to be a whiz in the kitchen to make up these. So this tofu is almost done. It's got a nice crisp on it. Let's go to some questions here. Yes, more and more vegans in school, 100%. So trying to teach our kids compassion. You know, they really enjoy being vegan. Could I air fry the tofu patties? I don't fry with oil or use non-stick, so my patties might stick and fall apart. If I try the pan fry, air fry will be fine. I haven't personally actually tried it, but 100% that would be fine as well. Does the thickness go after sometimes, like a few hours? Honestly, this can go in the fridge and it'll still be thick. So what you probably just have to do is probably just give it a nice little stir after a few hours or the next day. But this one, like I said, we'll probably have this tomorrow morning. I'll whack it into a container, just mix it around, and it'll have a really great texture on there. So that is honestly amazing. A vegan hollandaise sauce, which is on the website as well. So this tofu patty is pretty much done. I've got half an hour. Look at that, half an hour. 15 for that silken tofu. 15 for this little combination here. What I'll actually do as well, so we've got our English muffins. These ones are accidentally vegan friendly here. So we'll whack that into the toaster, crisp that up, put it all together and show you what this one looks like. But as you're coming in, just let me know where you're from. Are you in Perth? Are you from somewhere else? Let us all know. Really happy and excited to be doing this cooking. So we'll turn that off now. We'll whack these into the toaster. But yeah, bring it on. Bring on some questions. I hope this opens your eyes to a few other ways to use tofu. You know, some people feel like tofu can be a little bit boring. But, you know, it's what you learn along the way, these new ideas. Tofu is honestly one of my favorite ingredients. So this one is a bit crispy now. Get my plate ready. Wait for those English muffins to crisp up a little bit. But this is honestly unreal how easy this is. So I'll try to show you this tofu patty a little bit closer. So what we got there, try not to lose it. But as you can kind of see, it does have a nice little crisp on it, a little bit darker. So that one is fantastic. You can make them thicker, you can make them bigger, depending on what you prefer. But this one is just super simple, easy to do. We've got someone from Perth here. Thank you for sharing your recipes. Is the Macro Tofu your favorite brand? Yes, Macro Tofu, or actually the Macro brand is probably my go-to. What I actually really enjoy about that brand, a lot of tofus have a lot of water and then you have to like press it and press out that extra liquid. I find the Macro one isn't drenched in that liquid and probably don't have to press it. Some brands you do have to press. This one I find is fantastic. It's affordable as well, and it's like 22 grams of protein per serve. So it is really high protein. Another brand of tofu that I do get as well is Aldi. Aldi have it a little bit cheaper, and honestly, I feel like it is identical to the macro firm tofu. So if you're trying to save a little bit of money, that one is available as well. Look at that timing, did you? That was like perfect timing. So we've got our crisp up English muffins. You can crisp it up a little bit more, but what we're going to do, going to add a little bit of this hollandaise sauce. Made so much mess. Like, this is where, like, I feel like the vegan expo people would be like, glad he didn't come, because cleaning up after me is going to be unreal. Got so much mess here. But what we do, kind of spoon it on. Spread it around. Look at that, like, we've got the hollandaise sauce on there. Then we whack on this tofu patty. Should have probably made them a little bit bigger. But as I said, what you can also do with this one, Made with Plants have a vegan bacon available. The supermarkets, what's also good, vegan ham, kind of that combination, that saltiness with this is unreal. Try to smother a bit more of this hollandaise sauce on. It's all covered in there. We've got the tofu patty. Like, this is unreal. So if you're looking for a McMuffin replica, this tofu McMuffin, unbelievable. So good. So good. All right, so half an hour. Half an hour down. Got half an hour left. I've got like so much time. So please, guys, jump in. Give me some questions. Happy to talk as we are going here. We're going to go on to the last one, which is the sweet tofu. This one is fantastic as well. I'll try to make some room as we are going, but we'll look at any questions if we've got them. Macro is my favorite. Oh, there's a lot of questions here. Cheapest way to get nutritional yeast and hemp seeds is not a question, but thank you for sharing. I love the hemp seeds as well. Hemp seeds are a go-to for me. Really important. Spinach and silken tofu quiche. Beautiful. Thank you for doing the live feed. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Narelle, which is 2.5 hours southeast of Perth. This is super exciting. Thank you for the cooking demo. I have 2 vegan kids. I haven't experienced this yet, but my friend has recently. What would you say if your 8-year-old said they wanted to eat non-vegan things like a dairy ice cream, for example? So for us personally, our youngest, he gets severe eczema if he has dairy. I guess they've been vegan for not from birth, but pretty much from birth. So over the years we've taught, my wife and I have taught them compassion and just an understanding of why we are vegan. And for us personally, I guess those reasons why resonate with them. And as they get older, they kind of understand it a little bit more. But as they are getting older, peer pressure starts to peak out a little bit as well. I haven't experienced it yet. The kids are actually really good if they get offered non-vegan things. They kind of understand what wouldn't be vegan friendly and they say no. I think that compassion kind of takes over eventually, and that is powerful. I guess just teaching your kids that compassion side of it, why we're vegan, why they are vegan, why are you vegan, and kind of teaching them in a way that is age appropriate. So like we watch movies like Babe, Chicken Run 2 are really fantastic kid-friendly movies, but they have some really strong, powerful vegan messages in there. And kind of talking after those sort of movies, you can do books as well, kind of open their eyes up to why you guys are vegan. I feel like that really helps us. And also, I guess like with vegan kids, they always just want to feel included. So it's a big part of what I've done, or my wife and I have done since, kinder, primary school, is just offering like for like alternatives. So during Easter, we have the vegan eggs, we have vegan options available. Even at parties, we pack like vegan lolly bags because, kids parties, they have lolly bags. We have that ready to go. We make little cupcakes as well at parties so they don't feel like they're missing out and they're always wondering, why are we missing out? It's just, you won't be able to have this, non-vegan option now, but we do have this option which is similar, or in my case, with some of these recipes, much better than what you can get from the store. All right, I better start jumping into the next one. Try to look for some more questions. Have you noticed any positive flow-on effects with having vegan kids in school with other non-vegan kids? I guess it just opens them up to that exposure of understanding what veganism is. So I find a lot of people, unfortunately, we live in a non-vegan world, and a lot of people just don't understand veganism. I'm sure we've all been exposed to it. Just having those open conversations and letting people know what is vegan friendly, why are we vegan, what it means. It gives them an understanding about veganism as well. And people are open to it. So it is really surprising along the journey of having vegan kids, parents, teachers, they ask questions, they experiment themselves. I've even got a few mums and parents from the kids' school that followed my Instagram page. They're doing the recipes for their own kids in their lunch boxes, which is really exciting. Otherwise, if we didn't have these conversations, they wouldn't have even bothered. So I think having vegan kids, it's all about communication. So just open people's eyes to what is available. So what we're going to do now, we are going to cut up our last recipe. How are we going for time here? We've got 20 minutes. Whoa. All right, so we've got macro. Oh, actually, this one isn't macro. I was talking about it before. This one is the Aldi firm tofu. So this one is our last recipe. This is a sweet tofu recipe. Again, super easy to put together. Simple ingredients. So what you're going to do with this one, we're just going to cut up our firm tofu into little cubes. And that is going to be, you can chuck this on rice, you can have it by itself, but it is a great meal as well. Again, simple ingredients, and hopefully another way for you to enjoy tofu. And I've got so we're actually going to mix this tofu with some corn flour. It coats the tofu really well, and it gives it a nice crispy outer coating on your tofu, but then also has that soft texture inside it as well. And the corn flour combination, it really helps with the marinades as well. I find if you coat your tofu in flour, kind of goes a little bit soggy and spongy and stuff like that, where I feel like a lot of us have tried that with flour before. That's how I kind of did it back in the day with flour, and I was kind of turned off tofu. But this corn flour this combination is fantastic. So just dicing it up, and we are whacking it into a container here with a lid. And then you're going to see some dance moves. Sorry, kids, if you're watching. So what we got, tofu cut up into little cubes here. whacked into your container. And we've got about a third of a cup of corn flour here. Going to combine that with your tofu. And then put our lid on. And everyone's favorite moment. Just give it a little shake, a little shake, a little shake. So what I would have done if I was at the expo, I would have got one of you guys to come up on stage. You do the shake, you show everyone your moves, but unfortunately you have to deal with my moves. But this helps. I find this is the best way to coat your tofu. Like a lot of people, what they do, put it in a bowl, kind of, mix it around. It doesn't coat the tofu that great, in my opinion. But look at that, coated with a bit of dance. So what we're going to do, we're going to just brown that up quickly, put on our bigger fry pan with a little bit of olive oil. You don't have to use the olive oil if you don't want. So we'll get that to temperature. And then we're going to brown that up, and then we're going to add in our sauce ingredients. I've got really simple sauce ingredients here. This is so easy, friends, honestly. So whilst that is heating up, add in any questions that you may have. Let me know, actually, what is a highlight of the vegan Perth scene. Like, I was going to experience it. I was excited to see so many different brands out there and experience different stuff. But let me know, because I will be coming, fingers crossed, in 2027. Maybe do another cooking demo, do a presentation as well. So, look forward to that, coming out to Perth and seeing what the vegan scene is like. So let me know any of your recommendations and any other questions that you may have. So, is there a need to absorb the extra moisture? The extra moisture on what? Sorry. Algae tofu is the best. That's why I love it. It's just affordable. It's under $3, high protein, and it is pretty much 99% the same as macro firm tofu. It is bang on. So we've got some really great recommendations coming out here. This is fantastic. I'm going to have to come back and write all these down, because I am missing out on so many great vegan businesses. Unreal. We can't wait to clean up behind you in 2027. Oh, thank you. And this is, if this is an indication of how I cook, you may need to give me like maybe 3 or 4 trestle tables, because I don't know, I was just too ambitious here to cook 3 recipes, but we're going quite well. We've actually got 18 minutes. So this is going really well. Actually, this timing, I didn't even practice this, to be honest. I was just going to wing it, and we're winging it right here. This has got the temperature. So we're just going to whack in our tofu, coated tofu, and then we're just going to kind of stir that around for a little bit until that crisp up. And then once that started to crisp up a little bit, we're going to whack in our sauce ingredients. You may need to put in a little bit more olive oil to kind of get it crisp up a little bit. But that is going to be good. But I hope you are having a lovely Saturday. Hopefully it's all cozy indoors. It's actually been raining in Melbourne today as well, so it hasn't been really great. We have started to get into autumn, that boring old autumn weather in Melbourne, where it's like sunny some days, wet, cold. It was like, I don't know about you guys, but in Melbourne, we actually had to have the heater on last night because it was that cold. That's why I was actually looking forward to coming up to Perth, because I was looking at the weather. We're looking at 28, 30 degrees. But I definitely want to get up there. Check out some of these recommendations that you guys are punching in here. I'm just getting so hungry. Cooking and reading these recommendations. These are awesome. There's like pizza, there's like donuts, there's like, I could buy like all my vegan essentials. It's unreal. You guys are spoiled. But as I said, I would have loved to be there, support some great businesses. If you guys haven't, if you're jumping online, support some of those charities, some of those businesses where you can, if you can. Unfortunately, a lot of these businesses have bought up big for these expos, and unfortunately, it had to be cancelled because of bloody Narelle. Drink or smoothie recipes with silken tofu. I've seen recipes that use it, but have never dared. I have never dared either, actually. I have not tried in a smoothie or a drink, but as I was saying earlier, I actually used the silken tofu to make a tzatziki, which it's so creamy, so spot on. It's really easy to make as well. Maybe I can do that one next year. But you get your silken tofu. You've got to try to remember this: garlic, dill, a bit of olive oil, cucumber, and I think it's like apple cider vinegar. And that combination, you blend it up, and it is so creamy, very delicious. I put about 3 to 4 sometimes garlic cloves in there. I love it really garlicky. The family, not so much. So I have to tone down the garlic cloves a little bit. But you know, if you're making your own homemade souvlaki's with that tzatziki, like that's why I love tofu. Tofu. This is why I'm doing this, showing you guys some amazing ideas. And again, I said it before, but my website even has more. Like these are my favorite, probably go-tos at the moment. Someone mentioned it earlier. I've got a tofu scramble recipe, which is fantastic, super simple to make as well. How did you and your wife, then family, come to be vegan? So you may have missed it at the start, but what it actually started off with, our youngest, he was probably about 6 months. We started giving formula. Unfortunately, my wife had trouble breastfeeding. We gave formula, and he got really severe eczema. It was just all over his body. He would weep. He would like the eczema would weep. Would have to buy different clothing. It was just a really painful experience. We went to the doctors. The doctors prescribed creams, steroid creams, and it would go away. But within like a couple of days, a week, or whatever, it just come back. So my wife and I, we looked into the connection of dairy and eczema. We eliminated dairy from all our diets because if this was going to work, it was something that the whole family had to do. We're not just put in a little bit more olive oil here while we're talking. Yeah, so we all went in, cut out dairy completely. And honestly, I feel like it was a couple of days and his eczema cleared up, and it cleared up for ages. So then we started to look into we researched different animal-based ingredients into things that are preventable. And then that really snowballed into the vegan journey. It started with our son and his health journey, and then our family health as well. And then it snowballed into compassion, worrying about environment, the animals. And I personally don't understand, once you're open to that, you're exposed to that, the vegan side of it, like the animals, the environment, the health benefits. I don't know how people can't be vegan, or go back non-vegan rather than vegan when they were. It's just confusing to me. And as I'm showing today, it is super accessible to make some delicious recipes. So that one is browned up there. Thank you for all the questions coming in. So we're going to add in our sauce ingredients, put this together, and it's going to be honestly delicious. So what we've got here, we've got a couple cloves of garlic minced up. Got some ginger powder here, like a teaspoon. Got my muffin trays as well. So we're just going to mix that around until it's fragrant, and then we'll put in the sauce ingredients, coat it around, and then we're going to get in some other ones. Try to transport this over. So simple ingredients, it's been a theme today, simple ingredients. So we've got 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of just tomato sauce. We've got a cup of water here, and then 2 tablespoons of your soy sauce. Whack that in and wait until that thickens up. So stir it around. So put that on a little bit of a simmer. And we're just going to mix it around. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of a little bit running at the moment, but hopefully we've got 10 minutes. Hopefully that thickens up a little bit more. And then your tofu will be coated and delicious. What do you have on rotation for busy weeknight dinners that your kids actually eat? Honestly, I'm very fortunate. Our kids eat everything, like tofu. What I find with kids, if you have kids, it takes a few exposures for them to enjoy it or even try it. With tofu especially, it was just one of those items I'd cook up, I'd just put it on their plate with some of their favorite other items. So like you do some rice, you do some fruit. They have kind of like a tasting plate. They have a bit of tofu. They would like poke it. They might not even touch it. It took with tofu probably about 30 plus exposures until they even picked it up and tried a little bit. Probably took maybe 50 exposures until they ate it without question. So now I make these sort of meals. I put it down with some rice. I could do some broccoli, broccolini, Asian greens. They go for the tofu, they go for broccoli, they are not fussy. And that's where I feel like, parents, have kids that have fussy eaters. It just really works from a young age, just having those exposures. Don't force it, just positive reinforcement. Like my wife and I, we're eating it. They see us, they see, we're enjoying that food. And over time, it may be hard at the start, but it honestly gets better. So some of the weeknight ones is this one. We have like a chickpea curry, make a TVP bolognese, curries, soups. I don't know. There's a bunch of recipes on my website, and the kids honestly love them. I've got like a mushroom risotto, a bolognese risotto, like a combination of bolognese and risotto. It is incredible. Make pies. It's honestly unreal. So, is there a favorite recipe you usually keep in the freezer for emergencies or lazy days? Maybe not so much main meals. I don't really freeze the main meals. What I've actually been doing, because like I do the kids' lunch boxes. I love doing kids' lunch boxes. One of those weirdos. But I actually freeze up. I make like banana muffins, chocolate cupcakes, vanilla cupcake slices, corn fritters. I freeze those because in the morning sometimes it is chaos, and just having all that ready to go in the freezer, defrost in their lunchbox, it makes life so much easier. But like as we saw here, like if you time pour, these recipes are so easy to whip up. So we've got like a breakfast item that took 15 minutes. We got that high protein snack, silken tofu, that was 15 minutes, if that. And then this one, we've been going on maybe 20 minutes, maybe not even. I think like that dancing probably took up more time than this recipe. So that is starting to thicken up there. The tofu is coated. Unbelievable. So if you got any last questions, we've only got like 6 minutes left. It has gone so quickly. Someone on Instagram. Hi, how are you? Where are you from? I'm from India. I am from Melbourne. Thank you for jumping in on Instagram. We've got a few on Instagram. The chat is popping. Fantastic. So this is thickened up perfectly here. Bada bing, bada boom. And we have finished in 55 minutes. So I'll show you this one quickly. So what I do with this one, this is probably about 4 serves. add in some rice, add in some broccoli, Asian greens. Oh, this one is incredible. And like the coating around this, I'll try to show this, but it is unreal. Again, I am sorry, guys, that you guys won't get to taste this, but I highly recommend jumping on the website after this, trying it out for yourself and going, Jack, this is amazing. And I hope you guys have learned some new amazing ways to use tofu. Tofu is one of my favorite ingredients. So I just need a fork. So we'll try to show this. It's a little bit hard, but like it is coated. It is saucy. It is crispy. I don't even know. They're too bright, but it is coated anyway. The recipe is called, this is just sweet tofu, really simple ingredients on the website. You can try it out. I also make a maple hoisin tofu as well, which is kind of similar to this one. Cubed, maple syrup, hoisin sauce, like so many tofu recipes. It is incredible. So definitely jump onto the website. If you want to follow on Instagram, YouTube, as I said earlier, do grocery hauls showing you what I buy for our vegan family of 4. Do accidentally vegan items that you can find at the supermarket. So make it accessible, make it easy. As we saw, 3 amazing tofu recipes, super easy. That's what I'm all about, and relatable. And I want people to experiment with these items and enjoy it. So if you've got any last couple questions before we're going to wrap up, we've only got a couple minutes left. The timing has been perfect. It's probably going to take me about an hour to clean up over here. But it's fantastic what you can do with what you got lying around. So I've got these silicon muffin tins that had some of the ingredients in there. So that was from Seed and Sprout. So Seed and Sprout are fantastic. These Seed and Sprout, this isn't sponsored, but this is Seed and Sprout as well, measuring cups. But as I said, actually, if we're going back to this one, this feels like a lifetime ago, but these tofu patties, are going to whack these into the fridge. They're going to marinate overnight. And if you follow on Instagram, I might chuck up a story showing these again, but this is incredible. So that marinade will seep into that tofu, that semi-firm tofu a little bit more, giving more flavor, but like you honestly only need maybe 15-20 minutes to kind of get that flavor anyway. But if you want that stronger, deeper flavor, marinate it overnight, 10 hours, whatever. But I think we're done. So we are perfect here. So if any other questions, otherwise I've got 2 minutes.
Thank you so much, Jack. I'm like starving watching that. It's lunchtime here in Perth, so I think I'm going to make that sweet tofu straight after this, as I'm sure some of the others watching. But yeah, if there's any more questions, please send them through. I'm sure Jack will be able to answer them afterwards. Otherwise, please follow him on socials. As he said, he's on Instagram. That's jack.rock__. And then Facebook was a little bit. Are you on Facebook? I didn't write it down.
It's actually that_vegan_dad. So I've made it really confusing for everyone. Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Well, he's on all the socials.
And Pinterest, if you want to check out Pinterest as well, I'm on Pinterest.
And on your YouTube, which is Jack Rock, That Vegan Dad. And then he's also got thatvegandad.net, which he was talking about earlier, with all the recipes are at. And then did you say you have some ebooks, you said?
Yeah, I've got ebooks. I've got how to raise vegan kids. So we spoke about it a little bit here, just talking about some ideas that have worked for us and that could help you. High protein ebook. I've got like lunchbox guides. So there's a bunch on there as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jack. Thank you for your time. And we look forward to seeing you next year in person at the Expo. And we will make sure you have 4 trestle tables. And thank you to everyone for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me.